Hello everyone, welcome to another instance of my vlog where I'm just really trying to share my days as they truly are, working on different things, just continuing the hustle and taking you along. It's really an honest vlog. I'm not trying to embellish my work or try to impress you, but you can think of it more like me showing up to work basically every single day and trying to make some progress as much as I can. Now, this particular vlog is part of a two-part series that I internally have been thinking about as anti-enshitification, because it's just part of a major effort for me to improve my app that I'm working on, and recently I made a major new release that has been accepted widely as a good one, but it didn't come without any bugs, and there are many more feature requests that I'm excited to implement. So that's basically what I plan on doing today. But first, a lot of people are asking me how my experience is so far with the MacBook Air that I got recently, and a full review is coming very soon. But one thing that I noticed is that it just requires a lot of cleaning because it's a fingerprint magnet, and as much as I care about the cleanliness of my hands and trying to be very mindful about it, it still gets a lot of smudges very quickly. And so I'm forced to clean it all the time, and I'm bringing this cloth with me wherever I go. But when you do wipe all of the fingerprints, it does look kind of nice. The other thing that I will mention is the screen brightness, because a lot of people have been asking me about that on Discord, and even though it is quote-unquote only 500 nits, comparing to over 1,000 nits on the MacBook Pro, here I'm looking at it and it's not even full brightness and it's already more than enough, and I'm toning it down actually, going back to dark mode. Now, a bit of foreshadowing, I am working on a new app. It's called Alien, and if you can, try to guess what it's going to be based on the name alone, and in the next video I will pick the craziest possible comment that I find on what this app could be. But for now, I just want to open up Discord and, to warm up, pick some features and bugs that are kind of minor that I can do right away just to get going for the day. And the first one is the ability to quit an app from the window switcher feature that I have in my app 1 menu. So really, if you just hit Alt Tab, it shows you a list of all windows, and this feature is really easy to build, and I wanted to get started with that because I feel like it's going to be a really nice win to have early in the day. One of the major parts of the refactor and the new release that I mentioned of this app is that I reworked the keyboard event handling, and it's actually now based on the focused element in the UI, which makes it super easy to just add another if statement and check for a key event and essentially just send a signal to the corresponding process. But what was really disappointing here is that because I've been working on this app for a long time, some of the function signatures are slightly different in different parts of the app. So I was confused why it's impossible to cast between int and int35, because clearly I'm targeting only the modern 64-bit platforms here, and that conversion should be possible to do automatically. But anyhow, I cleaned up the code a little bit and I started testing out the first implementation, but something was kind of off. I was experiencing some bugs that I knew that I already fixed, and then I realized that I forgot to pull the latest version of my code from what I was working on last night. Yeah, it happens to everybody, including me. So now that I have the new version of the code and having applied my changes again, the feature is working a lot better and much more predictably, but it is kind of slow, and I have a suspicion why that is. It's not really a performance issue, it's more on the event handling side and some of the message queuing, but I won't be trying to fix that right now because that's a whole separate area that I will leave for the second part of this anti-enshitification series that I will be working on very soon. However, right now there is another one that I want to fix because I just noticed it on Discord, and so after refueling for a second, I just want to show you this part of the code. I understand not everybody writes Swift on a daily basis, but if you can, try to guess where the problem is. So here I have 3 different gauges, and one of them is supposed to be for the CPU, the other one is supposed to be for the memory, but both of them open the system monitoring dashboard on the CPU tab. And that's the fix. I know it doesn't look like a lot of great impressive code, but it's a lot of these small things that I'm really grateful for my community that they're pointing it out and that I can fix them really quickly, because I've been so focused on these major refactors that some of these smaller things are just falling through the cracks. But that's why I'm working on the anti-enshitification. Moving on, I really wanted to tackle a bigger problem. I have a user who has been experiencing crashes like actual full-blown crashes of this app. And honestly, I haven't been able to replicate it. And that's another part of why it's so difficult to work on a project like this, because being such a low-level system integrated tool, it often crashes because of weird interactions with other apps that I don't necessarily have on my system. And it's really amusing to read these AI summaries in Gmail. Marco requested Nicholas to send crash reports, which Nicholas subsequently provided in the last 2 emails. Yeah, that's actually correct, which is amusing because it wasn't correct for many other emails that I read recently. But anyhow, looking at the crash reports, there is no way to sugarcoat it. This is actually just a segmentation fault, which is kind of tricky to figure out why it's happening because there's a lot of asynchronous code, and I have some suspicions, but just looking at this particular crash log, it does appear to be related to one of the on-change event handlers in SwiftUI, and thankfully there's only a few of those in my app. But honestly, some of them are really not relevant because they are very infrequently called, so statistically speaking, they are unlikely to be causing this crash. However, after reviewing all of the code, I'm starting to get a hunch that this is going to require a major rework. So for now, I'm sending a debug version of my app to Nicholas to see maybe if he will experience another crash, and the debug version will provide much more detailed logs that I will be able to use to discover where the crash is coming from. But I have a better plan what to do in the meantime, so I'll just call it a day here in the coffee shop and I will continue at home. And it's really hard to debug these crashes and even reproduce them because Ethan has been testing this build on Discord for a while now, and he himself, who honestly is not shy of making fun of my work, has not experienced any problems. So I really hope that we can experience at least one real crash with the debug version, but who knows when that's actually going to happen. Anyhow, going home, I have one thing that I wanted to buy, so I'm just gonna stop by a store real quick and then we're gonna get going home. Can you guess what the mystery item is? Well, it's actually just a plain old steel frying pan. I'm really sick and tired of all of those non-stick pans, and honestly I've been looking up some YouTube tutorials on how to make a steel pan non-stick, and it does work, so I just decided to replace all of my pans with just plain old steel pans. I know, you really needed that information. You're welcome. So talking about the battery life on this scooter, I noticed one thing that is kind of strange, and that is when it goes below 30%, it really just doesn't want to go anymore at all. So the usable percentage is really just 70%. I'm not sure if that's just a defect or if that's kind of the way it works. And I'm even more curious for people who have electric cars. Is it the similar type of case that the car just starts going very slowly when it goes below like 20% of battery or something like that? I'm really curious what the power response is in a car. Anyhow, welcome to the life of a parent. And today, really only a minor mess in the room, only a few things here and a scarf on the door. Like, this is really good, guys. I'm having a field day really just tidying this up. It could be much worse. On the bright side, the pan doesn't stick. And while I cook and wait for potentially a reply from the user, I wanted to address my workspace because a lot of people have been asking me about the upgrades that I made. And so in truth, part of it was sponsored, and I want to tell you a little bit more about that. So I was really excited to receive this chair from Sihoo. It's called Sihoo Doro C300 ergonomic chair, and it's really improved my posture and overall energy levels when working for longer stretches of time. I've been using it for over a month now already, and I feel totally comfortable recommending it. It's very comfy, but it's also very configurable, including the 4D coordinated armrests and the 3D mechanical headrest. My favorite though is the auto-adjusting lumbar support, which uses a spring-loaded mechanism to find the perfect spot thanks to its ergonomic design, and it's very supportive. It was super easy to assemble as well in just a few minutes, with plenty of spare parts provided, which is not very common these days, but it's a very nice touch. So if you're looking to improve your posture and comfort when working for long hours, check out the link in the description and use my code YTBMargo to get 6% off. Now, the other parts of this desk setup upgrade are not sponsored, and I just want to mention them because people have been asking me. And probably the most important upgrade is the charging desk mat, and I'm really happy about it. It's by this company, maybe it's even a European company, it's called Journey, and it has this secondary part which acts as a wireless charger for your phone and your AirPods if you have them. I don't have AirPods, but I will just say that it's been a revelation just being able to put my phone on the desk with no stand or anything like that. And since then, really, my phones have never really been starved for battery and for power, which is really amazing. And some other things that I improved in the room is I added a bigger carpet, which helps with reducing echo and makes everything more cozy, but it's just from a local store, so I don't really have a link or anything like that. It's just a nice thing to think about if you're looking to improve your own setup. Maybe not the first thing that comes to mind, but I will recommend it as an upgrade if you're thinking about it. Now, tomorrow morning, still no reply from Nicholas, which means there haven't been any crashes, which is fortunate or unfortunate. I don't know, you decide. But what I decided is that it's really finally time to migrate my project to Swift 6, which, for those of you who are not working with Swift, is the version that introduces a lot of the improved concurrency controls and at compile time is able to check a lot of the different data access points. And so by migrating my app, I really hope to reduce the possibility of these crashes, especially related to memory access and segmentation faults. And so I looked at some tutorials and really I started working on it. So initially, when you just switch the version, it shows a whole bunch of errors and warnings. And so I slowly started going through all of them, and just like that, you spend an entire day. I mean, I think it's time well spent, and after quite a few hours of coding, I managed to get through all of the warnings, and yeah, I kind of had to rewrite the whole project. I do have a modicum of wisdom though to not immediately deploy this version, so as usual, I'll be testing it out during the next few days, and I think I will probably uncover some hidden bugs and problems, and that will be part of the part 2 of the anti-enshittification, where I have a very specific thing I want to fix. So if you like this format, if you like just seeing how this app is evolving and how I'm approaching different problems, make sure to follow along. Even at this late hour, I didn't get an email from Nicholas, which means no crash reports to look at, but I did manage to finish the refactor, so I'll take that as a win. If you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.